Okay, so wait a minute. Uh, okay. I guess they changed a little look here. Okay, thank you for watching here on YouTube Live at Blooming Light. Thought I would switch it up a little bit. And plus, when I go this route, it's here. So I don't have to upload it at a later date. All right, so we're going to talk about, this is not a reading. Okay, so it's not going to be a reading. Nothing like that. So we're going to talk about some of the things I talk about a lot on my various different platforms as a survivor, okay, of narcissistic abuse. And so these are some of the topics that I've come to study a lot and come to observe and research. And I'm trying to find creative and innovative ways to share practicality for whoever it's for, okay, as you unravel your own journey of healing. Okay, now in terms of cults, I was saying that many of us are taught, you know, history, society, media, we have an idea, kind of commercialized version of what we really think cults are. We've seen things in the news where it's like these groups and they drink the Kool-Aid and all of that. But cults, C-U-L-T-S, cults can range from small to grand and anything in between. And it's more common than we know. So I'm going to talk about signs of a primary sign that whatever that was for you, that you are unraveling yourself from or navigating through, a sign that chances are this was cultic. Okay, so I'm going to start with a healthy example first. I'm going to start with a most normal, not perfect, but a healthy example. Okay, so a healthy example of, let's say, there's a person that, I was saying this on another platform. Let's say there's a person that has been in a job, they have a position, okay? They've been working this job, and let's say a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they discover, okay, that it's just not working for them anymore. Nothing toxic. It's not due to toxicity. It's not due to abuse. It's not due to some kind of unfair treatment or violation. It's just maybe the person just discovers like, okay, this is just no longer a good fit. I'm ready to move into something different, something bigger, and I've kind of capped out here, or this is not allowing me to tap into some things, and so it's time for me to branch out. And let's say that that company is also pretty much healthy. And so even though they may have benefited from this worker, you know, being there, they understand like, okay, hey, you know, fair enough. We don't have no bad blood between us, right? Fair enough. Life happens, things happen. I don't have it in for you and you don't have it in for me. We simply understand that this is just not a good fit for you. It still may be a good fit for the employer. Now, I need y'all to hear that. You see that? It's not that it's not a good fit for either of them. It's just not a good fit for the person that decided that they want to go on. Okay? So, but healthy people, relatively grounded and healthy people, they know like, okay, like it's okay. The life ain't the end. They don't have any ill will and dishonor. So they can roll with that under healthy circumstances. They may say, hey, well, thank you for your service to the company. Thank you for your dedication. We hate to see you go. I'm sure you'll do well. Good luck on your endeavors. And it won't be like that cheesy, cliche shit they say for faking it, you know? And so, and that's that. There's no, you don't have any weird, eerie feel. You're not leaving wondering if they're gonna like try to sabotage you, you know, when you go to the next job, if they're gonna try to like say some foul shit to mess you up because you're not there. Like under the healthiest of circumstances, that's not where they're at. Okay? You left on good standings, you know, no bad blood. It just didn't work for you. Right? Um, that's a healthy scenario of what endings look like. Even when there's one party that maybe would like for it to continue. Okay. Now, when it's leaning into something more cultic, right? Something more cultic, then here it is. This is the undercurrent of, like I said, cults operate off of fear, they operate off of control, and also a cult is a cult or a gang, if you will, because here's where we're going. When that person, let's say, flip the whole example, just turn it all around, and let's say someone left a job, okay? They left a job due to toxicity. Let's say a person decided like, okay, hey, I'm not being treated fairly here. You know, I did all I can. I have communicated. I've tried to be fair. I've tried to, you know, work with and there's some bullshit. You know, I don't know what's wrong. What stick went up these niggas? Okay. I mean, I don't know what the hell is wrong with them or what bad alien, but at the end of the day, okay, this is not working. Okay, so I want to go. I'm going to leave. They're abusive, they're tyrants, they micromanage, there's nepotism, there's favoritism, there's, you know, hypocrisy, there's all these things, and they want to fine tooth comb me and So I'm done. I don't want to be here no more, so I'm going to go ahead and seek other endeavors, right? And the person that decided to leave the work, they communicated, they tried to communicate and all that and didn't get anywhere. You see how this goes? Now, so when that person leaves, they still do everything that they're to do in terms of, to the best of their ability, how to leave a situation. They dotted their I's and they crossed their T's, right? Before leaving, they tried to address the issue in an adult manner, and that was not possible, okay? And once they realized that that wasn't going to happen, they made their decision, their executive decision, and then when it was time to go, they communicated, hey, I will be leaving in a week. Right? What is this? Let me scratch this out. I don't even know who this weirdo is. Okay. So, as I was saying, and they leave. Now, that job, as that person leaves the job, right? And then they try to go on. Now, let's say the person is going on to their next job and then, you know, something weird happens, or a potential employer is like, oh, no, because we heard, blah, 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 or, just a very odd resistance. Cults operate in vengeance, but they also operate in fear that that person, because see, these groups be knowing how they treated a particular group or a person in the place of employment. Okay? And they have to damage control. And so now they have to make it out, like most cults operate, they have to make it out to be that you were a problem. That you were the problem. You were a problem. Because they can't, to be accountable, it's like, no. They got to keep up their veneer. They got to keep up their facade. And this is a sign that you're dealing with cults. So I use the example of a job, okay? A job, but this applies to anything, okay? It applies to anything. They have to keep up their facade. So again, they operate with vindictiveness, but they're also operating in fear. So they have to damage control out of fear of the truth about who they are. You know, whether they're tyrants, like I said, nepotism, hypocrisy, double standards, micromanaging, abuse, whatever it is. So they need to create a story, and then they want to trail you to make it difficult for you, so it could look like you're somebody that, just look at this picture, like you're somebody that's not stable. You're somebody that, you know, just don't get it. And they should be afraid of you. Potential employers should be afraid of you. They should be concerned about you. Right? This is a sign. This is a sign that you're dealing with cult situation. This is more common, and as you're continuing to heal on your journey, you're going to realize this is actually more common than we know. Cults do not like losing control, and when they feel like they're losing control, they have an unhealthy addiction and attachment to control, if that makes sense, to the illusion of control, an unhealthy addiction and attachment to knowing everything, or trying to have leverage over something and someone. Okay? And when that's not something that's easily attained, that bothers them. The idea of you getting away, and one, especially if you do get away, oh my God. For some of you, you're already living out the life of what happens when you do get away. And a lot of people don't really talk about that side of healing from narcissistic abuse. What happens when you get away from the cult? What happens when you get away from the narc? Okay? And in this case, what happens is this. They seek to sabotage your life in the background, and they continue to troll and infest. It's like they're roaches and shit. They continue to infest until they get dealt with, until you deal with them and they get dealt with in some kind of way. Because that is essentially what happens. We've seen this in the movies too, right? Made for TV, you know, Sleeping with the Enemy, Enough. Various different movies we've seen, and that's the aftermath of what happens when you do get away from the cult, right? When you get away from the cult is what I'm saying here. They attempt to infiltrate your life in the background. Okay, so they violate all sorts of laws. Okay, because by the way, stalking is against the law. Though these are the same people that talks about their legalistic in their judgments and views of you. Okay, but they're stalking. They pay people to stalk. That's illegal. Okay, whether that's on foot or whether that is in social media. Okay, so they're stalking, they're following you around, they're violating your privacy, most cases, because people aren't supposed to just be running your shit. I hope y'all know that. Like, that's not the way this goes. I don't care what their positions are. They're not supposed to be just running your shit. So that's another violation. What I mean by that is running your driver's license, your date of birth, and, you know, all of these things so that they can try to trail you around, so they can try to get a hold of people, okay, so that they can do their dirty work. Okay? And that's something we'll talk a lot more about over time, in ways to deal with that, ways to heal even from that, okay? Because there's ways, especially the more you heal, the more you're going to already know they game. which is going to start, like I said yesterday on one of my lives, they get sloppy when they feel like you're weak and alone. And that works for you. Okay, when they feel like you're weak and alone and overburdened. And so they think, they get real sloppy thinking that you're not paying attention to patterns. Okay? So that's why I say it's going to serve humanity to get over this commercialized view of cult. Okay? Cults are living next door to you. Cults are operating businesses, CEOs, managers, because it's about how they operate as a unit, as an organism, as an entity. It's about how they're treating the people or the targeted population. That's what's the determining factor, not their outfit, not what they have on the building outside, not how many, so-called charitable events they hold. And that's not what's determining that. Those are all uniforms. Those are all facades. Okay? All right, so I'm going to end it here. Like I said, on my other platform, I may be sharing some shorts over on TikTok about a rune and some mudras. We may get into a reading. I might. I'm kind of shifting up the way I'm operating here because I know what's going on. And I ain't going to help not one of them. They going to have to figure it out the hard way. Suckers.